Welcome to a journey into the world of zero-point energy, a concept that has fascinated scientists and inventors for over a century. At the heart of this mystery lies Nikola Tesla, a visionary whose ideas about hidden energy sources challenged the very foundations of physics. Today we'll explore how Tesla's theories about the ether, zero-point radiation, and free energy could change our understanding of power and technology forever. Let's begin by unraveling what zero-point energy really means and why it's been kept in the shadows for so long. Nikola Tesla believed in a world where energy could be generated on demand, without the need for traditional fuels. His method involved magnifying electric power by neutralizing magnetic counterforces in generators. This approach, Tesla claimed, could break the limitations imposed by Lenz's law and allow for the creation of energy systems that operate with unprecedented efficiency. Tesla's principle of resonance was key to achieving what he called overunity, a state where output exceeds input. Imagine a future where energy is not just abundant but virtually free. Central to Tesla's theory is the concept of the ether, a universal medium that fills all space and interacts with matter. According to Tesla, the ether is electrically neutral, ultrafine, and penetrates all solid objects. Interwoven with the ether is zero-point radiation, or ZPR, a form of electromagnetic radiation that exists everywhere, even in a perfect vacuum. This radiation, Tesla argued, is the densest and most fundamental form of energy, maintaining the perpetual motion of the universe. Together, the ether and ZPR form the hidden source of all matter and force. Tesla's ideas challenge our very definition of energy. He argued that energy doesn't exist as a physical substance, but rather as the ability to do work, a concept similar to how we think about time. In this view, energy is simply a measure of force over time, not a tangible thing. All events, Tesla believed, happen in the present, and the past or future are just metaphors. This radical perspective forces us to rethink how we measure and understand the flow of power in our universe. According to Tesla, electromagnetic disturbances in the ether can extract energy from zero-point radiation. This process, he claimed, is the true source of free energy, a virtually unlimited resource that powers the universe. The perpetual motion of matter and the constant exchange of forces maintain a cosmic equilibrium, where the sum total of all processes equals zero. This means that, in theory, we could tap into this hidden energy and use it for our own needs, without depleting any physical resource. All solid matter is constantly moving through space, interacting with the ether and zero-point radiation. Tesla described an etheric wind, an invisible force that affects all mass and motion. This wind, combined with differences in dielectric properties, creates what we perceive as gravity. The Earth's electric field further influences these interactions, causing dielectric displacement within both mass and ether. Gravity, in Tesla's view, is simply the result of the etheric wind blowing through matter, pushing it in the direction of negative polarity. Tesla's theory goes even further, suggesting that momentum and inertia are electromagnetic in nature. All mass contains electrostatic charges, and as these charges move through the ether, they create currents and magnetic fields. These interactions generate a rotatory motion, transferring mechanical force to atomic mass. In essence, momentum and inertia are not just mechanical properties, but are deeply tied to the electromagnetic structure of matter. This insight opens up the possibility of synthesizing inertia and momentum through electromagnetic means. Tesla's technology relies on high-voltage direct current brush currents, high-frequency currents, and rapidly varying electrostatic forces. These forces stretch the ether, while light and heat beams polarize the medium in specific directions. The result is a vacuum that induces motion, drawing etheric carriers through a device or even a ship. At the opposite end, high-frequency currents compress the ether, synthesizing rotatory microhelical tubules that transfer momentum. This process, Tesla claimed, could do far more work than gravity alone. One of the most intriguing applications of Tesla's theories is electropulsion, the idea that ships could fly and hover using electromagnetic forces. Tesla believed that man-made flying saucers powered by free energy were proof of his theories. These ships, he argued, used stealth technology and special effects to remain hidden while governments spread disinformation about their origins. According to Tesla, the real secret is advanced human technology, not alien intervention. Tesla's work was not just ignored, it was actively suppressed. According to this theory, a secret government entity has concealed electropulsion and free energy technologies to maintain control over energy markets and society. Through propaganda, ridicule, and misinformation, the public has been kept in the dark about the true potential of these inventions. The result is a world dependent on archaic fuels, with our access to advanced technology and information tightly restricted. Despite decades of confusion and concealment, the truth about free energy can be resurrected. By reconstructing Tesla's dynamic theory of gravity and electropulsion technology, we can reclaim access to knowledge that could transform society. The key is creative ingenuity, using what we know to build new devices and systems that bypass the obstacles set by those in power. The journey to energy independence begins with understanding and innovation. Shift focus to another remarkable free energy process, atomic hydrogen. This process, discovered in the early 20th century, involves dissociating diatomic hydrogen molecules into atomic hydrogen using an electric arc. When these atoms recombine, they release an extraordinary amount of heat, far more than traditional combustion. The process is so efficient that it could, in theory, provide limitless energy for heating, transportation, and industry. The atomic hydrogen process also sheds light on the phenomenon of cold fusion, a process where heat is produced without the expected nuclear reactions. By referencing ether theory, we can explain how atomic hydrogen and similar processes extract energy from the environment, rather than from the atoms themselves. This challenges the mainstream view of atomic energy and opens the door to new, cleaner energy sources. Understanding these revolutionary ideas requires a shift in how we think about knowledge itself. The debate between Platonist and Aristotelian epistemology is central here. Platonists believe reality is only a shadow of higher forms, while Aristotelians trust the senses and observable facts. Tesla's approach aligns more with Aristotelian thinking, relying on empirical evidence and rational analysis, rather than abstract, mystical concepts. This philosophical divide has shaped the acceptance or rejection of new scientific ideas. Quantum mechanics, as developed by Planck and later misapplied by relativists, has been used to conceal processes that don't fit the mainstream narrative. The atomic hydrogen process, for example, exposes inconsistencies in how energy changes are measured and explained. By insisting that all reactions are reversible and that energy must come from recognized sources, mainstream science has overlooked or dismissed evidence of overunity and free energy phenomena. Atomic hydrogen welding, once considered cutting edge, has largely disappeared from industry. This process uses an electric arc to dissociate hydrogen, creating a flame hot enough to melt tungsten. The recombination of atomic hydrogen at the metal surface produces intense heat, making it ideal for welding diverse metals. Despite its efficiency, the process was sidelined in favor of newer methods, possibly due to its potential as a free energy source. Closer look at scientific texts reveals a puzzling discrepancy. The energy required to dissociate hydrogen is much less than the energy released when it recombines. Older texts report that only 103 calories per gram mole are needed for dissociation, but 109,000 calories are released on recombination. This massive difference suggests that the extra energy comes from an external source, possibly the ether or zero-point radiation, rather than from the hydrogen itself. The atomic hydrogen process demonstrates a phenomenon known as overunity, where the energy output far exceeds the input. With only a small amount of electrical energy needed to dissociate hydrogen, the recombination releases over 1,000 times more heat. This challenges the law of conservation of energy, as interpreted by mainstream science, and supports the idea that energy can be drawn from the environment through the right processes. The atomic hydrogen process, hydrogen acts not as a fuel, but as a medium for extracting and converting energy from the ether. The process transforms invisible radiation and electrical energy into usable heat without consuming the hydrogen itself. This means that in theory a small amount of hydrogen could be recycled indefinitely, providing continuous energy for heating, transportation, or industrial use. In comparing the energy output of atomic hydrogen to gasoline, the difference is staggering. Atomic hydrogen can produce over 196,000 BTUs per pound, compared to just 19,314 BTUs for gasoline. Even regular hydrogen combustion yields only about 52,200 BTUs per pound. This means atomic hydrogen has more than 10 times the energy density of gasoline, making it a game changer for energy storage and transportation. Despite its potential, the atomic hydrogen process has been obscured by misinformation and omission. Industry and academia have downplayed or ignored its efficiency, focusing instead on more profitable or controllable energy sources. This deliberate suppression has kept society dependent on fossil fuels, limiting our access to cleaner, more abundant energy solutions. The manipulation of scientific data and public perception has played a key role in maintaining the status quo. Let's break down the numbers. The atomic hydrogen process requires only 103 calories per gram mole for dissociation, but releases 109,000 calories on recombination. Subtracting the input from the output leaves a net gain of 108,897 calories per gram mole, an overunity effect. This means that, with the right setup, a pound of hydrogen could theoretically supply all your energy needs for years, if not a lifetime. Because hydrogen is not consumed in the atomic hydrogen process, it can be recycled over and over. This means that, unlike gasoline or other fuels, you don't need to constantly replenish your supply. With a small setup in your home or vehicle, you could generate heat, power, or even drive across the country without ever running out of fuel. The implications for energy independence are enormous. One of the biggest obstacles to adopting free energy technologies is disinformation. Scientists who speak out are often dismissed as quacks, while those who know the truth are silenced or controlled. Comparisons between hydrogen and gasoline are muddied by confusing units, weights, and technical jargon. This deliberate obfuscation makes it difficult for the public to grasp the true potential of atomic hydrogen and similar processes. Storing hydrogen efficiently has always been a challenge. While mainstream science focuses on heavy, cumbersome storage systems, innovators like Dr. Gerald Schafflander have developed lighter liquid hydride systems. These systems use solar energy to generate hydrogen, which can then be stored and used for the atomic hydrogen process. This breakthrough makes hydrogen storage practical and affordable, paving the way for widespread adoption. Let's put the numbers into perspective. Gasoline combustion yields about 19,314 BTUs per pound, while atomic hydrogen delivers an astonishing 196,200 BTUs per pound. Even if hydrogen were consumed in the process, the ratio would still be over 10 to 1 in favor of atomic hydrogen. This means a car could travel over 300 miles on the energy from a single pound of hydrogen, compared to just 30 miles on gasoline. Imagine a world where hydrogen powers homes, vehicles, and industries. With the atomic hydrogen process, this vision becomes possible. Farmers could run their machinery without relying on oil companies, and people in remote areas could heat their homes affordably. The transition to a hydrogen economy would free society from the grip of fossil fuel monopolies and open up new opportunities for innovation and growth. Academic institutions have played a significant role in suppressing free energy research. By promoting certain theories and ignoring or discrediting others, they have shaped the direction of scientific inquiry. The result is a narrow focus on conventional energy sources, while revolutionary ideas like Tesla's are relegated to the fringes. Overcoming this institutional inertia is essential for unlocking the full potential of free energy. Atomic hydrogen process works by using an electric arc to split hydrogen molecules into atoms. These atoms, with their expanded electron clouds, absorb energy from the ether and zero-point radiation. When they recombine, the excess energy is released as heat. This process is not just thermal, it involves the conversion of environmental energy into a usable form, challenging conventional physics at its core. Zero-point radiation, or ZPR, is a form of electromagnetic energy that exists even in a perfect vacuum. In the atomic hydrogen process, disturbances in the ether cause ZPR to transfer force into the hydrogen atoms, which then release this energy as heat when they recombine. This mechanism explains the Overunity effect and supports Tesla's claim that energy comes from the environment, not from the destruction of matter. Hydrogen atoms, with their unpaired electrons, are highly photoreactive. When exposed to ultraviolet light, they can transmute and emit photon energy as they return to their ground state. This process, similar to the Raman effect in crystals, allows for the conversion of high-frequency radiation into heat. The energy for these emissions comes from the ether, not the atoms themselves, further supporting the theory of environmental energy extraction. Atomic hydrogen process also explains the heat produced in cold fusion and cavitation experiments. In both cases, nascent hydrogen atoms recombine, releasing heat that cannot be accounted for by traditional nuclear reactions. This suggests that environmental energy, accessed through the ether and ZPR, is responsible for the observed effects. These findings challenge the mainstream understanding of atomic energy. Tesla's dynamic theory of gravity ties together his ideas about ether, ZPR, and free energy. He believed that gravity is not a fundamental force, but a result of interactions between matter, ether, and electromagnetic fields. By manipulating these interactions, it may be possible to control gravity and develop new forms of propulsion. This theory, if proven, could revolutionize transportation and space travel. Modern experiment inspired by Tesla's work used an iron pipe and a high-voltage transformer to achieve remarkable energy gains. With minimal input power, the device produced kilowatts of output, suggesting a direct conversion of environmental energy into electricity. The process, known as K-capture, involves making iron temporarily unstable, allowing it to interact with ZPR and generate power. This experiment provides compelling evidence for the reality of free energy. Harness the power of atomic hydrogen, a special furnace is needed. The design involves a reaction chamber where hydrogen is dissociated and recombined, with a heat exchanger to transfer the energy to water or other media. German metallurgists once used copper crucibles cooled by water to prevent melting, allowing for the reduction of platinum group metals. This setup could be adapted for home or industrial use, providing efficient and clean heat. Most immediate use for atomic hydrogen technology is home heating and industrial processes. By providing a reliable source of heat, it can replace fossil fuels in agriculture, manufacturing, and transportation. Coupled with steam turbines, it could also generate electricity for homes and businesses. The potential for private transportation, including advanced vehicles and even flying saucers, is limited only by our imagination and willingness to innovate. While the theory is sound, practical implementation requires overcoming technical hurdles. Efficient heat exchangers, safe hydrogen storage, and reliable reaction chambers are essential for widespread adoption. Advances in materials science and engineering are making these solutions more accessible every year. With continued research and development, the dream of free energy could soon become a reality for everyone. Switching to atomic hydrogen and free energy technologies would have a profound impact on the environment. By eliminating the need for fossil fuels, we could drastically reduce pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and resource depletion. Clean, abundant energy would support sustainable development and improve quality of life worldwide. The transition to free energy is not just a technological revolution, but an environmental imperative. Adoption of free energy would transform economies and societies. Energy costs would plummet, making it easier for individuals and businesses to thrive. Decentralized power generation would reduce dependence on large utilities and empower communities. The shift would create new industries, jobs, and opportunities for innovation, while breaking the stranglehold of corporate monopolies on energy. Despite the clear benefits, powerful interests continue to resist the adoption of free energy. Fossil fuel companies, utilities, and even some governments have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. Through lobbying, regulation, and media influence, they work to suppress new technologies and protect their profits. Overcoming this resistance requires public awareness, grassroots action, and a commitment to innovation. Throughout history, progress has depended on the courage and creativity of inventors like Nikola Tesla. By challenging conventional wisdom and pushing the boundaries of science, they have opened new frontiers of possibility. Today, a new generation of innovators is rediscovering and building upon Tesla's legacy, developing technologies that could finally bring free energy to the world. The path to free energy is not easy, but it is within our reach. By educating ourselves, supporting research, and demanding transparency, we can break through the barriers of suppression and misinformation. The future of energy is not just about technology, it's about reclaiming our right to knowledge, independence, and a better world for all. Nikola Tesla's vision of a world powered by free, limitless energy remains as inspiring today as it was a century ago. His theories, once dismissed or suppressed, are gaining new attention as we search for sustainable solutions to our energy challenges. By revisiting and building upon Tesla's work, we can unlock the secrets of zero-point energy and transform our world for generations to come. Zero-point energy represents the ultimate promise of clean, abundant power. By tapping into the fundamental forces of the universe, we can create a future where energy is no longer a limiting factor. The journey is just beginning and the possibilities are endless. With determination and creativity, we can make the dream of free energy a reality. As we conclude our exploration, remember that the quest for free energy is more than a scientific endeavor, it's a movement for freedom, sustainability, and human progress. The hidden energy that Tesla envisioned is waiting to be discovered and harnessed. Together, we can usher in a new era of energy, where the power of the universe is available to all.